gonna put in a marker in 3, 2, 1, now. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. We are here. We are at the final stretch. 2 chapters remain. Are we going to figure out who our Sissel really is? Are we gonna get out of this boat? I hope so. 5:10 a.m. Oh, we're cutting it close. It's basically dawn. The upended submarine continues to sink, slowly but surely. A long, long journey to the bottom of the sea. Lynn and the little lady found the darkness and the salt water closing in on them. But at the very last second, something saved them. Now it looks down at them quietly. My head is filled with one giant question. What in the world is this thing? Oh, it's... I thought it was a robot, but no, it's... being possessed by ghost. It's Why did Robo Sissel save them? I thought he was bad dude. I see you managed to survive, detective. Hey, you're... Excuse my appearance, I seem to have lost my body. Oh, and you there. You're the ghost who's been saving Lynn all evening, aren't you? You knew about me all along? Of course, what else would explain all those unnatural things happening? If you knew, how come you didn't do anything about it all this time, and how come you decided to save us all of a sudden? Good questions, Lynn. I thought you wanted to get revenge on us. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I don't really know. Please, you gotta tell me. I need to know. Who in the world are you? Sissel, look at you, what happened? I can't hold on to that image of myself any longer. You can't remember who you are? That's right, I came all this way tonight trying to chase down my lost memory. For quite a bit of tonight I thought I was you, Sissel. Sissel? My name isn't Sissel. I bet you'll remember really soon who you are and who I am too. What? Man in front of me is not me. I'm even further away from the truth. Or maybe not. Something is stirring in my mind, a memory about to emerge. Do I know this man? Now that I've shed my image of myself, I feel like I'm one step closer to the truth. Who was Fonet? I concur. They got us good. It's all over for this submarine. Its engine room is destroyed, there's a hole in the hull, and it's sinking as we speak. What are you doing here? I thought you had to deal with those people. They betrayed me. I was a fool to trust them. They already have what they wanted now. The Temsic fragment. I didn't know they had it all figured out. Yeah, that meteorite's radiation has 2 effects on living creatures. It gives power and time. If you don't mind, we'd like to hear more. Power. Give us the power. Give us the deets on the power. These 10 years, I've been watching that junkyard superintendent do his research, and I think I've kinda got some of it figured out. The meteorite's radiation gives spirits special powers, like possessing and manipulating objects, and swapping. Apparently there are individual differences in the powers we get, and it seems these powers change as time goes by. They do? Yeah, my powers have changed over these past 10 years. At first I could only manipulate small living creatures. Now then, How do you suppose we got these powers? It's simple. In a nutshell, we died while exposed to the energy emitted by the meteorite. That's what does it, dying while being exposed? On that day 10 years ago. A fragment of that meteorite pierced my heart, and I died. So of course I received special powers. Hey, wait a minute. Is that how I got my powers too? You know, you might be right. Aren't the Temsik remnants still right there in that park at the bottom of the crater? You're right. So that must mean it must have died in the presence of the meteorite's radiation too. Give us the details about the time effect. Another effect the meteorite's radiation has on us is that it gives us time. Again, I think this time effect is centered around the theme of death, but it's not at all that clear. The fact that I can return to 4 minutes before a person's death is another effect of the meteorite. One of the characteristics of that meteorite is its ability to replay the moment of death. Makes about as much sense to me as anything else. Strange and confusing. It just about sums up the object that pierced my body that day. Thanks to that meteorite fragment, my very existence is a contradiction. What do you mean? That day, when the fragment pierced my heart, I lost my life. However, because it remained inside me, that fragment continued to constantly regenerate my body. My body was continuously cycling between the moments that separated my life and death. My body's vital functions stopped 10 years ago, but my body's time has perpetually stopped at the moment just before death. Time just stopped, huh? So I just simply existed, not really alive, and not really dead. That pretty much sums up these last 10 years for me, ever since that incident in the park. My body hasn't aged a day. My hair hasn't grown an inch. Come to think of it, that old pigeon guy mentioned something. He said he couldn't cut this guy's body with the scalpel. As soon as his incision was made, his body would be regenerated. And give us the deal about the revenge. You died from... Granted, you died from circumstances that seem beyond your control, but when you think about it, no, not really. Before I left this country, I wanted to do one thing. I wanted to get revenge on the people who stole our lives. Okay, our lives? As part of the deal, I made those guys promise to cooperate. It all went fine. I manipulated the justice minister and made him issue the execution order. But I thought he might call off the execution at the last second. That's why I wanted his daughter kidnapped. But they kidnapped the wrong girl. Little did I know they had their own reasons for cooperating with me. Their objective was to wipe out everybody who had to do with Temsik. Detective Child was one such person, so they were happy to cooperate. Inspector Cabanel and that junkyard super, they were slated to be wiped out too. And as it turns out, I was one of their targets as well. So they stole my Temsik fragment, and here I am. But they had one more final target. You, detective. Yeah, Lynn, huh? Why Lynn? If you weren't there in the park that day 10 years ago, I never would have thought of doing something as stupid as taking a hostage. Okay, but I was just a little kid playing in the park. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Huh? 10 years later and you've become a detective looking into Child's case. Tonight I invited you to a quiet spot on the edge of town. It was a trap, you see. I told you who I was. You never saw my face that day 10 years ago, so of course you didn't recognize me. I took possession of you to make you shoot me. Your subconscious resisted me. Such incredible power. It was the first time I wasn't able to control somebody completely. The aim was off and the first shot missed the mark. The junkyard was equipped with security cameras. I knew you'd be wanted for murder. That was my plan anyway. And then immediately after, nearsighted Jigo shows up. They had other ideas. They simply wanted you wiped out. Then something threw a big monkey wrench into their scheme. Me. I showed up. I was supposed to meet up with them after that. Then something went wrong. What happened? My body disappeared. Inspector White was responsible for that one. My precious bargaining chip was in that body. I had to get it back no matter what. That inspector caused me no end of trouble. Why were those people targeting me? Never even heard of the Temsik meteorite. Because you were looking into the Chowd case, I thought you would find out about Temsik sooner or later. Well, that's all we can ask. Not Sissel. By the way, I like this dude's bionicle-ish design. It's rad. And that's pretty much the whole story. The only thing left to do now is wait for the water pressure to crush the submarine. Oh no. There are no cores that link from here to the water's surface. I have an idea. We hook up the phone line and there are no communication cables down this steep. They meant for this submarine to be my coffin. A coffin for the dead. There's no escape. I think I kind of understand now what you've been feeling these 10 years. This feeling cut off from the world all alone in a submarine, sinking slowly towards the bottom of an endless sea. This must be how you felt all along. Lid. Camilla, is it true we're stuck here? What? Oh, yeah, sorry kid, we're fucking dead. If my dad was here, I bet he'd save us. I bet he would. Oh, Camilla, I'm so sorry. That's funny. What is it, Sissel? There's something I don't understand. Why would they go all the trouble of detaching the control room? What? Why did they just steal the Temsik fragment and escape if that's what they wanted? Why did they have to jettison your body off into the sea? That's a good question, but I guess it doesn't matter why now. We'll never find it again. We have no idea where it was launched to. Wait a minute. Yes, we do. Oh shit, yes! The tracking device. This will tell us where Detective Chowd is. That present from the inspector in white. That's right, Detective Chowd told me to hold on to it for him. The bullet is still in the person's body in the command room, right? Then we should be able to tell exactly where it is with this. But even if we find out where it is, how do we get there? We should be able to figure something out between the three of us with our powers, right, Miss Lynn? Right, and wait a minute, what about a torpedo? A torpedo? In any case, it's way too early to give up. Looks like Detective Jowd is our last hope. Trick time! Alright, what about Camilla? So my dad isn't here on the submarine? We're gonna get him right now. Okay, hope it didn't hurt Lynn's feelings, what I said about my dad saving us if he was here. Oh, don't worry about that. Comments like that just roll right off Miss Lynn's back. She's really thick-skinned. Ouch. I'm going to start being tougher, too. I want to make my dad proud of you. Miss Camilla, I'm sure your dad is very proud of you, Camilla. Okay, what do we do now? We go find the command room that was launched somewhere into the sea. Wow! Just to let you know, I don't like water very much. According to Lynn, the key to our plan is a torpedo, kind of a missile. You have a missile right here. I don't think she's talking about that kind of a missile. Where did we see another Miss Torpedo? His shell is definitely there in the command room, right? Without the fragment? It's there, yeah, but I don't know about calling it a shell. Detective Jowd's watch will tell us exactly where it is. He said it was a radio receiver. There might still be another torpedo on the submarine. What are you gonna do, ride on top of the torpedo? Darn, I kinda wanted to see that. Operate the control panel. Aha, the grapes! Why is this machine shoving grapes at me? This looks like the private cabin of the top officer, doesn't it? This machine is probably for feeding him grapes while he lies in bed. It sounds heavenly. I've been thinking about this for a while now, but don't you think that that country's use of technology is just a little off? This guy made a deal with that country. Looks like the arm of this machine is a bit busted. Alright. The phone line to the engine room isn't working right now. All that water probably damaged the line. Guess I don't need to go back there anyway. Well, to the torpedo room then. There might be another torpedo left there, I'll go check it out. We're going to use a missile to ram the control room. I don't know about ram. We don't want to blow up Detective Jowd up. Something like that. Climb up to the torpedo room. Up is definitely safer. See you there then. I was phoned. It looks like the torpedoes can be launched manually with these switches. There are 2 tubes, so there should be 1 more left. I guess the first thing we have to do is load it into the tube. When it comes to missiles, you can count on me. I'll enter the coordinates of the command room into the torpedo. And I just turned on the backup power. We ought to be able to use the switches now. What will happen to these 2 ladies? I think that's up to us and our powers. This is no time to be standing around unsure of ourselves. Will you lend me your strength missile? How's it going there? Just calculating the command rooms. Have to put in a slight offset out, though, don't want to blow it up. The switch won't budge. I do think the entire device is broken. Probably work just fine if I could only move the switch. Have to find a way to move it somehow. Can't do it with my powers alone. Yeah, alright, there it is. There we go, the torpedo, baby. Something's odd. What is? The command room. Looks like it's slowly sinking. Like it's completely run out of power. Wonder what happened. Guess I'll find out. Alright, set the course. It'll head toward the command room. 12 seconds after launching, it'll pass by the command room for an instant. That instant will be your window of opportunity to jump over to the command room. And we'll find a way to come back and save you. That'll probably be my last task tonight. Just hold on until we get back. Okay, come on, Missile. Missile? I'm sorry, I can't go. What? I just can't. How could I leave? Can't leave Miss Lynn and Miss Camilla behind. I can't do it. I swapped the switches so the missiles can be locked. You'll have to do the rest. I can't do it either. Can't ask Missile to come with me after that. I understand exactly how he feels. I want you to go, Missile. What? But Miss Lynn, you staying here won't change our fate, but if you go with Sissel, you might be able to make something happen. That's our only hope. If that something doesn't happen, I'll never be able to see you again. Never, ever again. Even I could understand that. I could stand that. Don't worry, Missile. I just know you and Sister can make something happen. I believe in you. I'll be right here waiting for you. We'll see each other then. Don't worry. Miss Camilla! That's a good boy, Missile. Now, are you ready? Remember, it's 12 seconds after I throw this switch. We're ready. Sissel? Yes. We never found out who you really were. But that doesn't matter now. All I know is I'm truly glad I met you tonight. Thank you for everything. I'm glad I met you, Detective. We're going to see each other again, right? Sissy, right, Missile? That's right, we promise, little lady. Of course we will. Never forget you, no matter what happens. Here goes, then. These 12 seconds are lasting an eternity. I strive to think of a way to save Lynn and the little lady the whole time. But how can a ray of light of hope reach this far down into the deep sea? Before I think of an answer, the 12 seconds are up. Detective Chowd! That big masked man did this. I'm going to bite him. You better not. You might break your teeth. The command room has lost power and is sinking. Wonder what this masked man is going to do. Let's talk to Detective Chowd. Detective Chowd is lying on the floor. Glad you came along, Miss Soul. You and I are the only ones who could bring Detective Chowd back to life. Oh, he's dead. Sorry for the wait, Detective Chowd. Who are you? Are you Sissel? Please excuse my appearance. I can't believe you made it here. How's Camilla, and what about Lynn? Well, it's kind of a long story. I told Detective Chowd about everything that happened on the submarine Yanoa. So the submarine is badly damaged. Why would he do that to his own submarine? Wish I knew. I know the answer to that one. It's because he's afraid of my powers. You followed us, I didn't even notice. It's been 10 long years, Detective Chowd. Are you Yamiel? So you remember me, do you? How could I possibly forget? So that's your real name, huh? Yamiel? That's right. Those people on the Yanoa were calling you Sissel. That's just an alias I was using for my deal with them. I didn't see any need to tell them my real name. Could you do me a favor? Would you let me ask you some questions? I've been trying to find out my true identity all night. Sure, go ahead. I'm sure there's plenty we can still tell you, right, Detective Chowd? Right. 10 years ago, you were a top systems engineer, weren't you? Systems engineer? What's that? By the way, I'm a top Pomeranian, you know. Well, it's kind of hard to explain to a dog, but it's a person who's good at using computers. I don't mean to brag, but I was one of the best in the industry. That's how I got roped into joining that project. It was a project aimed at reorganizing the nation's top-secret information. The goal was to build a new system using multi-dimensional programming theory. I was asked to join the project by an agent of the government. Does it sound like something a top Pomeranian would know anything about? To me, it just sounded like another challenging job. However, this project was also the target of a secret plot. Bet you can imagine the kind of crime the nation's top secrets might attract. I never thought for the life of me I'd ever have to deal with spies. It was never made public, but every organization in the country moved on this one. And then, one day, the name of a certain programmer emerged as a suspect. I was the guy who built the core of the system. The police arrested you, and then that incident happened. You escaped from the interrogation room and took little Lynn as a hostage. By the way, Detective Chowd, when was it that I was proven innocent? About 6 months after your death. I'm so sorry, Yamiel. 10 years ago. My soul was split from my body, and I lost everything. I was sealed in eternal darkness. I existed in this world, no question about that. But nobody noticed my presence. What good were my powers? They didn't help anybody. Not even the passage of time could heal my pain. In fact, it only made it worse. I wanted to disappear, but I wasn't even allowed to do that. The way Lynn described it is exactly right. Sinking slowly towards the bottom of an endless sea, an overwhelming feeling of loneliness and despair, that I wanted all of you to suffer what I was suffering. So that's why you murdered Alma. That's right. I wanted you to know what it was like to lose everything you cared about. I wanted you to feel the same pain I felt. It was the twisted wish of a mind poisoned by infinite loneliness. And then, as I was plotting my revenge, I had an idea. I came up with a plan to use these powers of mine to make a deal. There's something I just don't understand about that deal. I'm sure your powers will be very valuable to them, but what would you get out of the deal? A new life? I asked them for 2 conditions. Number 1 was that they help me with my revenge plot, and the second was a rebirth for me. I didn't care if it was a fake life, an artificial life. I just wanted a physical receptacle for my soul, a name, an identity, an everyday life. I wanted to grow old in a society that would accept me. And finally, I wanted to die surrounded by a loving family. That's the kind of life I asked them for. A completely man-made life. That's right. I knew I couldn't hope for anything more than that. To make it all come true, I knew it would take a lot of money and a lot of power. That's why I decided to ask a national government to help me. And their response in the end was betrayal. They were making their moves much more carefully than I suspected. They sent spies to this country and researched my powers on their own, and they even figured out what Temsik was all about. You had no idea they were doing all this? Not at all. I was a fool. So then, why did they go all the trouble of making a deal with you? Why didn't they just steal a hunk of the Temsik meteorite from the park? They couldn't. After the manipulator incidents, research was conducted in this country too. A report was submitted to the government about the source of the manipulator's power. By Inspector Cabanel and the old pigeon guy. At first the government didn't believe the report. But then they decided to put the park under surveillance just in case. This looks like an ordinary peaceful park, but there are armed agents there at all times. Don't tell me that odd leaflet guy's one of them. No, not him, he's just a plain old odd person. That park is like a silent battlefield on an international scale. That's why they couldn't steal the Temsik meteorite. Lately, under the pretense of building a housing site, they've been working on a plan to destroy that park in order to secure the Temsik meteorite. So the upshot of your grand deal was this. Yeah, it's the ending I deserve. But at least there's one thing you must be happy about. You've managed to seal me away at the bottom of the sea forever. Well, shall we get started? Started with what? Bringing Detective Jowd back to life, of course. What good will that do now? But we promised Switzerland and Miss Camilla we'd save them. We can't do that without you, Detective Jowd. I've been guided by fate tonight to this place. I won't give up now. Alright, fine, let's see where it leads us. Here we go then, back to 4 minutes. Alright. Yeehaw! Here we go. So, where are we headed? We are not headed anywhere, Detective. What? There's only enough fuel on board to launch us away, Detective. We will run out soon and that will be our destination, Detective. What are you talking about? That would mean that you're trapped here too. By the way, I'm not human, Detective. I'm a remote-controlled robot, Detective. Your country's use of technology is just plain off. We get that a lot, Detective. Why would you go to all the trouble to do this? That's nothing but a shell there. It's hardly a threat anymore. Commander Sith likes to provide against any possibility, no matter how small, Detective. Possibility? What are you talking about? There's no need for you to know, Detective. Now it is time to say goodbye, Detective. In the end, your fate remains the same, it seems, Detective. Camilla, forgive me. It isn't over yet. It isn't? Remember what that big masked man said? Any possibility, no matter how small? In other words, there must be a chance here somewhere. The possibility of turning this situation around. Huh? What is it, Detective? Look at Yomiel's shell. There's no aura emanating from his body. Of course there isn't. The Temsik fragment is gone. Could this change in his shell to give us some kind of lead? Well, I have a feeling what's gonna happen. I figured it out. I know what this possibility, no matter how small, is that they are afraid of. What is it? My time was perpetually stopped thanks to the power of Temsik. The Temsik fragment has been taken away. So what does that mean? Your body won't come back to life. The moment the Temsik fragment was removed, my shell became a regular corpse. Back to 4 minutes before his death. Exactly when is that death? That's simple. We'll find out when we get there. I fell back through the cracks of time for what seemed like forever. And then I saw it. The final death at the end of this long night. Who exactly am I? I've already seen all of the clues. All I have to do now is remember. The final journey to the truth starts now. Final chapter. When was Yamiel's death? It was 10 years ago when the Temsik meteorite fell. Traveled back through time. Now we're here at the scene of that death. The start of it all is about to replay itself. It's ready! Hold it! Give it up. Do you really think you can outrun me? Now just calm down and drop that weapon. Stay back! If you come any closer, I'll shoot her! Kibby? Oh, kitten, shoot, you might get hurt. Are you okay? You're all right now. Are you hurt? You saved me, mister? I was just doing my job. The gods, they're the ones who saved you. What's your job, mister? Me? I'm a police detective. So that's the Temsik meteorite. It's beautiful looking at it from this angle. It changed all of our fates completely. We can't stop Temsik from falling from the sky, but we might be able to protect you from that fragment and save your life. I don't know. What's the matter, Detective Jowd? To be perfectly honest, I'm scared. If that meteorite fragment doesn't get him, I'm pretty sure I would have shot him. You might not be able to change your fate of dying. I can accept that. What I did is inexcusable. No matter how the future might change, that fact will never go away. If my fate is to die here, then I accept that. This will be our last battle against fate. Beyond that will be a new future. Now, how are we gonna save you? Flynn would just wander off somewhere, that would solve everything. When her sweet potato is almost ready, she's not gonna budge from that spot. It makes me wonder, a little girl all alone in the park listening to music and roasting a sweet potato, what kind of childhood did this girl have? Doesn't everybody have at least one day in their life like that? Give her a break. Flynn won't budge from that spot. Just have to have the fragment move instead. Missile looks so happy. She's about to eat some sweet potato. When she drops her sweet potato, keep our eyes peeled for a chance to make our move. We won't drop the ball or the sweet potato. It's ready! Hold it! Eek! Oh, poor Miss Lynn. I'm sorry. If you're so sorry, then put her down. Alright now, Miss Lynn. It's really out of my head that day. We can talk about all this later. I have to think of a way to do something about that fragment. Stay back. I'll shoot her. What in the world is this thing? You even forgot what a sweet potato is? It's a roasted root vegetable. It's good! There's nothing like them on a cold winter's day. They're sweet and they smell delicious. These guys are sure making me want to try one. What are you doing? You're going to hurt poor Miss Lynn's ears. Sorry, I wasn't thinking. You really started her. You made her drop her sweet potato. Know how much this girl loves her food, too. At least her fate has changed, albeit ever so slightly. Rock. Yes. Oh, look at that sweet potato. That big, scary sweet potato. That's not a sweet potato missile, that's Minnow. Oh, alright, of course. But look at them, the potato and Minnow. Right now they both have the same shape. It's about time for that meteorite to come down. We have to change the fragment's path somehow. Why is he using the past tense? Oh look, the lamppost is bending. It hasn't broken yet. Really is a wonder it hasn't snapped. It might hold out for just a little while longer. If I recall, smashed through the glass lantern on its way down. If Minnow sits firmly in its way, then fate should change. Poor Miss Lynn. Well, let's just see how it goes, because I can't think of anything else to do. There's that. The fragment's course, it changed a little. Now Yamiel's fate should really change. Wait a minute. Take another look at the fragment's trajectory. Now that it's changed, what's in its path? No! Detective Chow, the Thames fragment shot through his leg. What? The cruel twists of fate weren't over yet. Come on, put it down. Chow, put the gun down now. If you don't, you're going to shoot him. I don't know if it's detective training or what, but even though he's shaking the gun from the pain, the gun doesn't waver. Put the gun down! Oh, no! I knew it. This is my true fate. In the end, I stole his life away with my own hands. I won't let that happen! Missile, the bullet is stopped in midair. I'm here inside the bullet. Now swap it with something. Detective Chow, the meteorite fragment is what made you pull the trigger. We won't let you become a murderer. Murder isn't the detective's true fate. We have to stop this bullet. Must be something with the same shape as the bullet. Well, sweet potato. Oh no! We stopped the boat, but we still couldn't save him. That's not true. My fate of getting pierced through the back might not have changed, but I'm still alive. What? I'm not dead, I'm just unconscious. The fate of death has changed, but still, this fate is just too painful to watch in every sense. I don't think so. As long as I'm alive, that's good enough for me. But we were overlooking one thing. The wheel of fate was still slowly turning. Look out! Wake up, you gotta get out of there! Oh no! Damn it, my leg won't work. It's all over, we're out of time! Miss Lynn! It's not over yet. But there isn't anything else to swap it with. Why don't we just let it play out and then try to find another way next time? Even if she dies, all I have to do is possess her corpse. Then you can redo her last 4 minutes as many times as it takes. No, I won't do that. Why not? The fact of her death would be erased, but her memory of it would remain like a scar on her psyche. I won't let that happen, not if I can help it. I think there might be something that can be done. What can Sissel and I do? Don't forget, I'm here too. With 3 kinds of powers among us, we ought to be able to fight this battle. This battle against the fate of death. Sissel, your power is manipulating objects. Use your power to manipulate this. I don't get it. Just trust me, let's go. Now gather your strength and make it spray as if your life depended on it. I'm dead though. In that case, make it spray as if your death depended on it. Give it your all and remember you only have a split second. Do it, got it! Now it's Missile's turn. The hunk of concrete will go back to its original position. Even if I swap them, it'll still be right above Miss Lynn. It's no use, we can't stop that horrible Mino. What can we do now? I don't see how gaining a second or 2 helped. Oh, it helped alright. Those few seconds were exactly what I wanted. Last up, it's my turn. You know what my power is, right? I can manipulate living creatures. That's right, I'm going to save that little girl by manipulating my own unconscious body. Oh no! Ye gods! You're awake. Hey, mister, is your knee okay? Oh, it'll be fine. It's just a scrape. I'm lucky it wasn't a fatal hit, but the main thing is that you're not hurt. You saved me, mister? I was just doing my job. Gods, they're the ones who saved you. What's your job, mister? Me, I'm a police detective. Do you think you could go call the police for me? I think you could do it quicker than I could. But... What's that? This is a detective's badge. We give them to children who've been very brave. Okay, you know what to do, little detective. Are you alive? Yeah, sadly. Hang on, help is coming. What made you do such a reckless thing? To be perfectly honest, I don't really know. When I came to, my body was already moving all by itself. It was as if somebody else was controlling me. I see. But you know, I'm glad it happened. Hey, mister. I found this kitten. It was over there. Come to think of it, I just saw it a few minutes ago. It's probably a stray. It's kind of limp. Is it okay? Oh no, Kibby. Oh no. It doesn't look like it's injured or anything. Poor little kitty. How about if I take it to my house and look after it? Would you like to come home with me, little kitten? Well, it looks like his fate just changed in a big way. Whose fate? That kitten's, of course. Sissel's. The name Sissel echoes in my head. That's my real name. These long, lonely 10 years, you're my one and only friend. How about it? Do you remember now? Old friend. I think I finally remember. 10 years ago, I was a little kitten that wandered into this park. I was weak and all alone in the world. Somebody please look at me. Somebody please reach a hand out to me. I had just only died at the time. I'd lost everything, my life, my memory. My body wouldn't move anymore, but I still managed to reach out a hand to him. The next thing I knew, my soul transferred to the black kitten with no recollection of who I was. I lived as a cat with you for a while. After a while, the man regained his memory. I went back to being just a cat, and then the man got his body back. I took my body back from the morgue. There was somebody I just had to go see. just one more time. I took control of my body and hurried to her house. But I was just a little too late. I just missed her as she left this world. She left me a note that said, "I'm coming to you, Yamiel." The man named me Sissel. It was the name of something important he had lost along with his life. His fiancée. He told me about it once, but I didn't understand what it was. Those 10 years were very happy for me, but they weren't happy for the man, and there was nothing I could do for him. For 10 years I wandered through the darkness with no particular place to go. As time passed, my powers gradually changed. At first I could only manipulate small creatures and objects, then after a while I could manipulate people. That's when the darkness inside me deepened and I started to get a little twisted. I wanted light. Distorted, artificial light. When I got my revenge on Lynn, I would see that light, or at least that's what I tried to believe. Oh no. Oh no. Oh Lynn, oh no. Left my old self buried in that junkyard and walked away. Black Cat. I was possessing Sissel then. It wouldn't look very much like a murder if the corpse got up and walked away. So you borrowed the body of your old friend. Sissel was carried inside that bag as I was carrying tonight. I had no intention of leaving my friend behind in this country when I left, but then, when I went to possess his body, I realized something horrible. Sissel there inside the bag was dead. I wasn't able to control her completely. The first bullet didn't hit anything, or so I thought. But it did hit something. Oh. That's when I lost my life, right there in the presence of Temsic radiation. And that's when I got my powers of the dead, my ghost tricks. I think I understand it now, why I was the only one who couldn't get his memory back. It was because I thought that corpse was me. It was the only corpse I could see at the time, after all, but as it turns out, it wasn't the only dead body. My true death was hiding just behind that corpse. Now that I think about it, do you remember what you said? That you knew all along about me saving Lynn tonight? If you knew, why didn't you try to stop me? It's simple. Because I couldn't even if I wanted to. Remember the thing about individual differences in the powers we get? I can control all kinds of things, from the living to the dead, but even so, there's some things that you can do that I can't. You mean, I can't even rewind time, let alone change the fate of a death. If I could do those things, I would have saved your life. Not only that, but I never would have just let my fiancé stay dead like that. But you're here 10 years in the past now. That's thanks to your powers. I just tagged along with you. In any case, now the starting point of this entire tragedy has changed dramatically, altering fate. The fate of your death, the kitten Sissel's fate, and I can just bet you the fate of the woman you love has changed too. I believe you're right. This was the last fate to be averted. But at what cost? So Yamiel, it looks like your plan for revenge ended in failure. Yeah, and I'm glad too. I think I kind of understand now what you've been feeling these 10 years. She understood. She shed tears for me. That's when my revenge was over. She saved me from the darkness. I guess it's time we got back. A new 10 years later was just born. We should get back to our new present. I can't wait to see Miss Lynn and Miss Camilla again. These past 10 years will now all vanish. Not completely. The memories of all of us here will remain, including the memory of what I did, my crime. That's the way this game of the dead works. No matter what the reason, there's still no denying that I took Lynn hostage and tried to point a gun at her. I have no intention of running away from that, the most inexcusable crime in my new life. Hey Sissel, yes? When we go back, our fates will no longer be interconnected. We'll be like we never met. So before that happens, I just wanted to say one thing. Tonight I stole away your life with my own hands. I'm truly sorry. That's already a thing of the lost past. Our fates have changed now, right, Yamiel? Thank you, Sissel. I'm so very glad I met you. Sissel, are we ever going to see each other again? I couldn't stand it if we weren't. Don't worry, Missile, I bet we'll see each other again someday. 10 years from now, our paths are sure to cross. We'll just have to wait until then. Sissel, I'll never forget you. I'll never forget you either, valiant little doggy. Looks like you come to live with me now, so let's be getting home, little black cat. That sounds good, Detective Chowd. We all witnessed the birth of a new beginning, and now we're each going back to our own new present. We said goodbye to the parts of our stories that would be lost, believing that someday our paths would all cross again. Wait! Before you go back to a new present, I wanted to thank you. Before I cease to exist. Oh, it's you, this guy. Ray, yeah, I was kind of wondering about Ray. Thanks to you, everything has turned out as I had hoped. I'm really grateful to you, Sissel, thank you. Don't forget I was only on a journey to find my own lost memory. I know all about you. Can I ask you a question, Ray? I want to know, who exactly are you? Fair enough, I will tell you. Let me tell you about another version of tonight's events. Huh? You changed the fates of many people tonight, the first of which was hers. Well, now that we know that the blue people are robots, maybe, I don't feel as bad about that. I mean, I didn't really feel bad at all, but if you had not been there for her tonight, her fate would have been to die in that lonely spot on the outskirts of town. If that had occurred, what do you suppose would have happened? Let me tell you a story of a little creature. After they stole her life that night, they broke into her apartment. They stole the wooden box from the ceiling hiding place and left, and in the process, two little dead bodies were left behind. However, the little fellow's spirit lived on. He desperately reached out his paw toward his mistress, and that's when a miracle occurred. Powers of the dead, but how? He didn't really understand it himself, not yet anyway. But with all you know now, I bet you understand it, do you not? Wait a minute. That's right. He died inside the aura of that strange energy. Oh. Unfortunately, with his meager powers, he was unable to save his little mistress. There wasn't anything he could do with only the power to swap objects. The little fellow chased after the men, but there still wasn't anything he could do. In the end, he was left behind with the man in red in the deep, deep sea, and then he went back. He went back to the world of 10 years before, to the moment of the man in red's death. He decided to wait it out. He decided to wait until that night came again. That's the other version of the story of this night, a story that has taken these 10 years to be retold. That was you. That's right, I'm Missile. 10 years is a very long time in dog years. You couldn't change the fates of these people on your own, so you decided to wait those 10 years out. Exactly, and then at last that fateful night rolled around again. By this time I had grown old and my powers were weak, so I decided I needed to find somebody to help me this time around. Somebody who possessed different powers than me. You were able to manipulate that desk lamp. Over the course of the long years, my powers changed. My ability to swap objects weakened, but I became able to manipulate small objects. In that case, why didn't you cooperate with yourself? Because I couldn't. From watching the man in red, I found out there were individual differences in our powers. I couldn't do any of the things he could do, like travel through the telephone lines, for example. It may not seem like much, but it's a very important power, especially if you're trying to chase somebody. I knew from the very beginning that I had that power. How did you know so much about me? Why wouldn't I? We'd met before on that night the first time around. From listening to the conversations of the two intruders in the apartment, I learned that Miss Lynn had lost her life at the junkyard on the edge of town. I followed the ghost world paths to the junkyard and came upon an incredible scene. Imagine, if you will, there in the darkness, a twisting and swiveling desk lamp. It made my fur stand on end. That was me! So I was shot on that night the first time around as well. You'd lost your memory that time too. You just died and you felt confused. You declined to cooperate with me. I just want to find my own lost memory. I'm sorry, but I can't help you. That's what you said. Then you disappeared, away over the telephone line. I'm really sorry I didn't help you. That's why I decided that this time I'd use that desire of yours to our mutual advantage. The only thing you were interested in was finding your own lost memory. If I could guide you along the right path to doing that, we would both benefit. Namely, the right path would be the path to the man in red. I gave you the information you needed to know to set you in the right direction. Then I gave you a time limit. As you know, I said you only had until tomorrow morning. If I hadn't done that, you wouldn't have found out the truth tonight. And the man in red would have been sealed away at the bottom of the sea forever. If that had happened, it would have been all over. That thing about ceasing to exist? Oh, that completely made up. A little naughty of me, I know. I just wanted you to use your time wisely. Oh boy. I hate to admit it, but this little doggy really outsmarted me in every way. Let's just call it the wisdom that comes with age. And now it's time to say farewell. These past 10 years will cease to exist, and with them so will I. I believed in you, I always knew you could do it, and so you did. Issel, so you waited and waited these 10 long years, all for the sake of your two ladies. Of course, because that's what doggies do. Now then, farewell, Sissel. So the story of a single night came to an end. Nobody but us knew what had really happened in this town tonight. I made my way back to a new present. Huh? How come it's dark? I'll just turn on the lights here. Oh no. Wait, there's no gun! Yes! We live! Were you surprised? You bet I was. You nearly scared me to death. Yippee, it worked. But it's not even my birthday today. It was my mom's birthday the day before yesterday. I made this surprise for her, but it came out so well I wanted to use it again. That's alright, Lynn. After all, we're celebrating the birth of your new position as detective, right? Really? Thank you, Detective Chad. Dad, you're home! Hey, Camilla, let me introduce you. This is Lynn. She was just assigned to Detective Division today. Hi, Camilla. It's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, Lynn. Congrats on becoming a detective. Huh? Is something wrong? You have one of those badges, too? Oh, this? Yeah. I have one just like it. My dad just gave it to me the other day. But yours looks a lot older than mine, though. How long are you going to keep wearing that toy badge, Lynn? What's wrong with it? To me, this is the symbol of a real detective. It's been 10 years since then, hasn't it? Who would have guessed you'd actually become a detective one day? When he gave me this badge, I just knew. I knew it was my destiny somehow. And now that I'm a detective, I'll find out where that destiny will lead me. Oh, hello. Don't tell me you're that same little kitten. That's right. The very one. You know what? This is a very, very special cat. He's 10 years old, but he's still a kitten. Still a kitten? He never got any bigger or anything. What a mysterious little fellow. I know, right? His name is Sissel. Sissel. Seems to me I've heard that name somewhere before. Think Sissel likes you, Lynn. Alright everyone, let's start the celebration. Okay, Mom. Oh, they got the chicken too. Fuck, yes, they got the chicken. Oh. I bet you're just like me. Your destiny led you here somehow too. What a good little kitty. And so we meet again, Sissel. From just that single night as a human, I got a glimpse into their world, and I learned something. Their fates, their lives, they were all interconnected, somewhere, somehow, in some way. And now, this is my new fate. Guess I really am a cat. Suits me just fine to curl up and watch. Watch the strange and beautiful patterns of their lives as they unfold. It looks like I'll have plenty to watch here for quite a while. There he is! To both of them. Happy birthday to our lovely Lynn. Like I said, it is my birthday. Hey, Missile, I thought I'd ask you to stay home and guard the fort. But birthdays are for celebrating together with friends and loved ones. Nothing like it, baby! There! How do you like that? Not bad, huh? But definitely not good. Maybe now I can be a great detective just like Inspector Cavanella. What kind of examples is the Inspector providing for his men? We were the best, Kib. Here's your food, gentlemen. Memory, what are you doing here? I heard you were gonna be picking new members for the Special Investigation Unit today, so you took on a part-time job here again just so you could eavesdrop? Oh, you have no idea the lengths I'd go to reach my goals. I've never cooked this way before, so exotic, so exciting! Turmeric, coriander, cumin, and fenugreek curry stuff. Is this really necessary, this new curry chicken menu item? Oh, but our very best customer requested it. Now good luck with the taste testing. Oh boy, I don't think I could eat another bite. Just exactly who's this very best customer anyway? I guess that's the biggest mystery left behind. Why is his head shaped like that? Are you sure we really need all these explosives? Not to worry, Beauty, my dear, I followed the instructions exactly. 20 kilograms of gunpowder, just like it said. Wait a minute, 20 kilograms? I thought it was 20 grams! Well, he's rich. So this is where you work, huh, Papa? She's not sick anymore, I'm not doing the voice. Sorry, Rika. That's right, sweetheart. Darling husband, don't you have any ideas at all you could give me? You must have heard some juicy stories in the discretions of a minister, perhaps? Now, unless you talk that way in front of our darling angel, here is to the stodgy mind of my darling husband. Toast. This deal is going quite well. Oh, I must say these crepes are quite good, my man. Do you know I was about to scrape the bottom of the sea, sir? Be forewarned, sir. Egad! Keep it together, man. Are you trying to give me a case of the vapors? I believe I nearly died of fright just now. Love, peace, and pigeons. Long live rock and roll. Stop the park from charging admission. Protect the rights of those who live here. Today's the day, you know. He's finally getting out. You know, everybody's starting to get real tired of seeing you do that. But let me show you a new dance that's been passed down in our family for generations. We do this when we have a stomach ache. We call it Dance Away the Pain. Oh, I'm real interested in that one. Think you could show me to me, say, next week? You got it! 10 long years, Yamiel. Your time is up today. The young lady who always comes to visit you is waiting outside. Thank you, Sissel. You're not even gonna show us his painting? Come on. There we go. Oh, what the best Kib. Oh! Just jumped out from the painting and into the picture. Good. And that was Ghost Trick. I've heard a lot of... well, I wouldn't say a lot of things. I've heard that this game was good for, like, a long while. Didn't really look much into it. Despite, you know, the whole ghost stuff maybe being up my alley. But I'm glad I finally got the chance to play this for myself. The art direction in this game, as well as the animation, are top-notch. Like, yeah, there's like a few small errors, but like, who cares about the small errors? They're the small, tiny. Like, everyone is just super expressive with their animations. Some of the puzzles were pretty neat, especially once we got Missile involved. The running gag of rats being fucked over was always funny. I mean, those poor rats, but also, it's funny. I guess that's kind of like, I was kind of wondering why those people from the other nation have blue skin, but I guess it's because they're robots? Surprise Kib protagonist. That's pretty good. I don't know. I don't know if it's racism reasons that they have the blue skin, because there's no type of people that has light blue skin in reality. I don't believe. Do not acknowledge it. Obtained a new background. Hell yeah.